Alright, so now this is my Mobula 7 HD. Sadly I don't get long flight times on this. I'm not too sure if that has to do with what I'm running on the VTX for the milliwatts. Not going to talk about that too much right now. So we don't have much flight time with this.
Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and do you a favor and cut the audio for now. I am going to let that resume back up later on because there is a couple of things I am going to want you to hear from the motors and from the quads, particularly the Mobula 7. But moving on, these tests that we're going to be running today, we are going to be testing 2 different drones, 2 different Caddx cameras, 3 different lenses, and 2 of those lenses we're going to be testing with the ND filters. Now that we got that lens off there, we're going to be able to see that the Mobula 7 has a lot more clarity and a lot more resolution coming from the picture without an ND filter on it, which is probably why they designed the frame the way that they did, because I actually had to cut my frame to fit the ND filter on it. Now, along with testing the Mobula 7 HD, the other drone that we're going to be testing today is actually a Blade Torrent with a Caddx camera converted into a new frame. And sadly to say, that one is a little bit more susceptible to vibrations and jello in the footage due to the fact that I made it using 3 different frames, and I kind of just combined all of them together to make one frame. And although it's a great flyer and it handles great, the footage doesn't come out great all the time, which is a little bit sad to say. That's just because I was unable to properly mount the camera in place. So, I just had to add a little bit of music into the end of that last clip, just so that way I could show you guys. I really think that these micro style whoops and these Caddx cameras are a great combination, especially when you're trying to get close proximity or smooth flying footage in a small area, because these cameras are more than capable of capturing all of that. And as long as you can use your skills in editing and basically just cut, slow down, speed up, change the color and stuff like that, if you can do those simple things, you really can create great looking footage. So as I said before, we are testing out two different drones and two different Caddx cameras. One of them is the red Caddx camera, which I'm also testing out firmware. So the red Caddx camera I'm going to put inside the Blade Torrent, and that is going to be running firmware version 1, where the black camera inside the Mobula 7 HD will be running firmware version 2. So now, as you can see in the bottom left corner, this is the Blade Torrent 110, and this one does have the red Caddx camera in it. This is the only flight out of the test that is going to be run on all of the stock Caddx settings, which in my opinion are a little bit too high when it comes to the sharpness and the saturation levels. It kind of causes the image to kind of get a little pixely. But there are so many variants to all the tests that we're running today, and some of the biggest ones are actually these right here, which are the actual camera settings and the firmware settings. As you could see in the top right and the top left of the screen, this is the firmware version 1 on the red Caddx camera I had mentioned, and you can see those predominant lines up at the top. Those do not come in with the black camera on version 2. But the biggest part about this is also the fact that between these two cameras, I wanted to try to compare them as closely as possible to see the differences in the image. So, surprisingly enough, out of everything you've seen thus far and everything in the future besides this flight, both of the Caddx cameras have the exact same settings. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put that picture up on the screen right now. So that's saturation 5, sharpness 2, contrast 4, and a brightness of 5, which is actually pretty close to Albert Kim's settings from his Caddx cameras. Now, this flight that you're watching right now is actually not recorded from the SD card itself. Sadly, this is actually a screen recording from my iPhone X of watching the actual video. The reason that I can't save the video is because that one file on the SD card is actually corrupted, and you guys are going to see what that is from at the end of this flight.
I didn't feel like walking to go get it, which probably wasn't the greatest idea considering now it's covered in like mud. This is the special lens. Once again, I'm running the 2S 800 milliamps in series. And we'll get this one plugged in.
It really sucks that there was virtually wind on every single day that I went to go test. So what'd you guys think of that? That is the conclusion of all my tests. And if you wanted to ask, in my opinion, what would be the best way to go or the best setup, I would say the Mobula 7 is not really going to be for everybody. It has its great purposes, which I plan on using it for like close proximity, indoor or family events, stuff that I want to be really safe but still want to get good footage at. But the Caddx cameras themselves, I am a absolute fan. I absolutely love them. I mean, you cannot argue with video quality like this, especially when you realize that this is on a 2.5-inch drone, so I can't really ask for more. I am definitely going to be putting more of these Caddx cameras in more of my builds, and I plan on using them to the fullest potential. I would definitely suggest, if you do want to get one, go with the special lens. I definitely think it gives you the best picture. And that's about it. So wrapping this up, I'll try to put links to all the products down below. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for future content. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.